Hello, America. This is Dave, the bald guy, baldguylimo.com. Anyway, seriously though, I am here to give you my opinion of Fort Stevens Campground. And I'm going to give you the short of it. And then if you want to continue on, you'll get to hear the long of it. The short of it is, it's good. Seriously, I'm going to give it 4.25 stars out of a possible 5 stars. That's the short of it. Now is the long of it. Okay, so this was our first trip of the season. The first chance we had to get out of the house. First chance we had to pack up the motorhome, stick everything in the RV, and drive from Oregon City, Oregon, all the way to the Oregon coast. Now, for some reason, I had it in my head that Fort Stevens Campground is in Astoria. It turns out it's not. I just had that in my head for some reason. It's actually in a town called Hammond. And I don't even consider it Hammond. I consider it Warrenton. Warrenton has grown leaps and bounds since the last time I was there. The last time I was there, there was a Home Depot, and that was pretty much it. Now they've got a Walmart. They've got a Costco. They got a Taco Bell. They got a McDonald's. They got a Petco. They got a Dollar Tree. Everything you can think of is there. Panda Express. You know, we're really roughing it when, we go to Starbucks a couple days out of our camping trip and eat at Panda Express. We're really roughing it like our grandparents used to. Anyway, so you go to Fort Stevens, and Fort Stevens is directly across the street from a KOA. The signage that takes you to Fort Stevens is not the best. All right? But if the signage to the KOA, fantastic. They really put the money in that. So trust the signage to the KOA that will take you to Fort Stevens. So Oregon State Parks. I am a lover of Oregon State Parks. I enjoy camping there. You get a nice little chunk of a campground. There are so many places that charge you $60 to have a tiny little sliver of grass with a picnic bench on it that happens to be right next to your neighbor's sewer cable. Your neighbor's sewer line coming out. And I've always said I don't need my neighbor knowing how well my circumcision went 47 years ago. So I like the state parks because you get a nice area to camp in. You got a fire ring to have your campfire, and you got a picnic table, and you pretty much can stretch out. We're a family of 5, so yeah, the kids, they run around. It happens. I made a mistake in not bringing a mosquito repellent, and my legs have not forgiven me since. I have mosquito bites. I don't know if you can see that. They're up and down my arm, all over the place. My legs got the worst of it, though. The itching is going away, so I'm very happy about that because I'll be able to sleep better. So Fort Stevens, what does Fort Stevens have? So you've got the usual hiking, you've got access to the Oregon coast because you're literally right there on the beach, and you've got some great history. So there are the place used to be a military bunker. Everything was military bunker. Started around the Civil War. They built the first one, and then through World War II, and I think it all got decommissioned around 44, 45, and all that. Most people don't know that it is the only state. Oregon is the only state that ever got shelled during World War II. Hawaii was not a state yet. So Oregon was the only state that got shelled in World War II. It was a Japanese submarine popped up and thought it was a submarine dock repair facility. They didn't know what it was. And so they shelled it hoping to get some American submarines. And the shells, I think, landed on the beach. Some of them did, and that was it. That was about as exciting as it got. Other than that, Bly, Oregon got hit. Some people died from a Japanese balloon incendiary device. The Japanese sent these incendiary devices by air hoping to cause all these wildfires in the western part of the United States. And one landed and it exploded and killed some members of a family. That's a very fascinating story, and I'll let you Google that. But the man's family, he was a reverend. The man's family died in that explosion. He ended up getting remarried, and then him and his new wife, they went to some mission. They went and did a mission. And they went somewhere, I forget where it was, but he ended up getting kidnapped by the natives, and nobody ever saw him again. I mean, he led a really tragic life just by both of those. But anyway, I'll let you Google that. So, Fort Stevens used to be a military barracks, bunker, whatever you want to call it. And there's these tours you can take. One is an underground tour. One is on a big, huge Jeep where you just sit there and they just give you all the spiel and they do that. I've been told the tours are awesome. We were planning on taking the tours. Unfortunately, the day gets long, and by the time the vacation's towards its end, I'm just like, I don't want to run around anymore. And I was just, being the fat guy sitting around his campfire. And that's exactly what we did. Unfortunately, we'll have to save the tours for next time. But we had a lot of fun. There's a lot of places you can go. If you are camping there, you get the day pass, or you can just get a day pass to park and go explore. If you're camping there, you automatically get a day pass for the time that you're actually there. So you can go to the bunker area. You can walk around this abandoned area where they had, there used to be these massive batteries ready to shoot down any enemies that were coming. And there's a lake, a beautiful lake. We went to this gorgeous lake, and God, I forget the name of it. We went to this gorgeous lake, and we were the only ones there. No joke. It's got some nice pictures of the kids standing on a dock. And then I said, "Oh God, it's too cold. Let's get back in the car." So we did that. And as far as other touristy things to do, Warrenton is the pit stop town. So you go in there to pit stop. It's got a Home Depot. It's got a Costco. You can get your facility. It's got a Walmart, for criminy sakes. That's open till midnight, and you can get all your supplies. If you go north, you're hitting Astoria, Oregon. Astoria, Oregon. If you haven't ever been there, they filmed a bunch of movies there. The big one is Goonies. They filmed Goonies there. They also filmed what else? Kindergarten Cop, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and The Ring 2. The Ring Part 2. There was the Ring, the first one, which was really good, and then there was the Ring 2, which was horrible. If you haven't seen it, don't bother. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 was filmed there as well. And so, anyway, there is lots of discovering the town, and the people used to be able to go to the Goonies house that was famous. You used to be able to walk up, get your picture taken in front of it. Well, the city's cracked down on it. Don't bother trying. Seriously, they will. I guess the current owners of the house are not too happy of people standing there getting their picture taken in front of their house. You think if you bought a house that was featured in a very popular movie, you might get some people who want their picture taken in front of it. So, I don't know. There's a crappy movie museum. Stay away. That used to be in the jail there. Stay away from that. We did a tour of the what's called the Astoria Column. If you have never been to Astoria, you're going to want to go to the Astoria Column, because you are literally at the top of the hill and you can see everything. Bring your lunch, bring something to eat, because this is the best view you're going to get in the Pacific Northwest, unless you're this close from Mount Hood. Anywhere on the Oregon coast, it's gorgeous. If the weather's good, you're going to want to be there. That is free, but they do charge you to park. So enjoy yourself while you can while you're there. We took a tour of a place called Pier 39, which is free. There is what it used to be originally back in the day was a Bumblebee tuna factory. So they catch the tuna and they would cut the fish and they'd slice it up and they can it right there. It was a Bumblebee tuna cannery, is what it was called. And there's a coffee shop right there. You can literally walk up on the marina, and there's about 10 feet of marina. There's no guardrail. So I made sure that my son was nowhere near this thing because my 5-year-old would go running off into it. And you can stand there and have your coffee. And there's a pub there as well for if you want something a bit more adult beverage-wise. And so we did that. And then, of course, we went down to Seaside. So south of Fort Stevens is Seaside, Oregon, which is a very tourist-driven town. They have a boardwalk that circles, that sort of encompasses everything. It's really kind of nice. There's restaurants and there's things to do. There's an aquarium there for the kids. You can feed the seals. But what interests us is the arcade. And across the way is the bumper cars and the tilt-a-whirl. We always do that every year. It's kind of a tradition in our house. And, we went and did all that. So that was a lot of fun. So it's getting more into the detail of the actual campsite itself. I always judge a campsite the harshest on the quality of the site that you're camping in and the quality of the public restrooms. Because if you can't get the public restrooms right, you probably can't do anything else right. So I've already mentioned that the space we were in was very nice. The restrooms were so-so. There was in the men's room. I can't say anything about the women's room, but the men's room, you walked in. The ground was always kind of dirty. I'm not going to freak out over that because you're walking through dirt just to get to it. Okay? But they weren't very good at, I was there for 4 nights and there was a soap dispenser that was empty the whole time. The ventilation in the men's room, you walked in and the smell hit you in the face. They were relatively clean. I mean, I've been in restrooms of campsites where I'm just like, I don't want to even stand up and urinate here. But this place was relatively clean, so as far as using the facility was okay. Mainly the odor just hit you in the face, and the soap dispenser kind of got up my nose a bit, to be honest with you. I mean, how are you supposed to sanitize your hands if you can't, sanitize your hands? So that was your main reason for the 3/4 star cut out of our experience to this location. We had a lot of fun on this trip. We really did. There was a lot of s'mores made. There was a lot of Uno played. There was a lot of movies watched on our television and in our motorhome because, we really rough it when we rough it. Those Starbucks coffees, that Panda Express took an extra 20 minutes to make my broccoli beef. 20 minutes. It's like a little house on the freaking prairie, man. So anyway, that was our trip. We also took, once we were done there, we drove from the coast to Mount Hood. And we went back to Mount Hood Village. And I'll talk about that experience in a separate video at another time. I won't mess with you that on this. But we always enjoy going to Mount Hood Village for the most part. And that's that. That's pretty much our story. I did take our Lion solar battery that I reviewed last time, and I used it to charge my phones. That was very useful. The plug-in outlet still is broken. Still doesn't work. I messaged Lion to see if I could get them to give me a replacement or something. No. They didn't even say no. They just didn't respond to me. So I think they were insulted by my review, which, I don't care. It's my review. I call them as I see them. It's not like they gave it to me for free. It's not like they, stood behind their product or anything. Anyway, that is my review this time. My wife and I are talking about taking another trip to another state park at some other point here coming up soon. I enjoy state parks because they're very affordable. They're very affordable. The problem is they fill up very quickly during the summer. I was trying to make a reservation today for one in Central Oregon, and they're not available for motorhomes or RVs until October at this particular location. So goes life. What are you going to do? All right, I'll let you know. We'll let you see you soon. Keep an eye on this channel. Please hit subscribe, and we'll do another review here soon about our experience back at Mount Hood Village. And you have a good one. Until then, we'll see you then. BaldGuyLimo.com.